Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea, and today I have my third quarter update for my 2020 goals and my ended low buy. If you saw my last update, you know that I decided to discontinue my low buy, and boy, did I discontinue it. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but first we'll talk about how my goals for 2020 are going. Hopefully not going to spend too much time on any of this. I'm filming this more to keep myself accountable for things, not so much to like brag about what I have done or haven't done or show off how much that I've bought in the past couple of months. But I want to be honest with you guys, and I want to be honest with myself. So that's mainly why I'm doing this. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna go through every single goal, but just I'll hit on the ones that I've actually, I don't know, done something about, I guess. There's a couple that I've really let fall by the wayside, and that is eating healthy and exercising. And I'm not too surprised about it because no matter how well I'm doing, there always comes a point, and it's usually around summertime. There's just something about like the really hot weather that just makes me not want to work out. So I pretty much stopped working out for about 2 months, and I've started slowly picking it back up again. I need a little more consistency with it, but I have worked out several times in the past week, so I'm counting that as a win for the like 2 months where I did no exercise at all. The healthy eating thing is just, this is gonna sound like an excuse, and in some ways it kind of is, but I've got 2 little kids, and my son pretty much eats nothing but carbs when he does eat. And if any of you have little kids or know anyone who has little kids, or you used to have little kids, you know how much of a battle food can be. And I don't want it to turn into that big of a battle because I don't want them to have food issues. So it's really, our food has just been kind of all over the place because it's whatever I can, it's mainly my son, whatever I can get him to eat. So we just have a lot of like carbs and snacks in the house, which isn't the best, but we're surviving, and that's all that matters. And hopefully at some point he'll want to eat vegetables again. So until that point, we're doing the best that we can, and it's not as good as it was at the beginning of the year, but it is what it is. I have read a couple of books actually, and it's funny. I'm a little overwhelmed by the state of my house because, again, if you've got kids or used to have kids or all of that stuff, you know that you clean the house and then 2 minutes later it looks like you did nothing. And part of the reason our house looks so bad is because we have so much crap. So I'm really trying to organize things. I'm trying to declutter things as I go. So my goal is to, and this is going to take a while. If I remember, I'll take like a little video of what my bookshelves look like so you can see what I'm working with here. Okay, I almost forgot to do this. These are my bookshelves, and just so you know, the only reason there are empty spots is because I had to move those books upstairs since my kids think one of the best things in the world is to just throw all of my books onto the floor off the shelves, and I was getting tired of it. But my goal is to read my books, and if I finish a book and I'm not gonna force myself to read something I really hate, but there's a difference when you read a book that you are really enjoying and you don't want to put it down and you just want to read it as quickly as possible versus something that you're reading and you're like, yeah, I don't mind reading this once, but I won't be sad if I never read it again. Once I finished a book, I never used to make that distinction within my collection. Like I have a book, I finished reading it, whether I loved it or not, it went back on the shelf. I'm changing that because I realize I just have way too many books, and I'm gonna say like a good 60% of them I've never read before. So I'm slowly going through my books and I'm reading them, and if I don't love it, I'm gonna get rid of it or donate it. So I've read 4 books. No, 5. Wow. I think that's actually more books than I read all of last year. So I think I've read about 5 books in the last 3 months, which for some that might seem like a lot. For me, in my like heyday of reading, I was reading like 2 books a week. I don't remember all 5 of the books that I read, but I do remember that 2 I am going to keep. 2 the 2 that I'm getting rid of, I know, because those are the most recent ones I read. And 1 was actually my sister's that I borrowed, so that's back with her. It's not here. But I feel good about that. I thought I was going to have a harder time getting rid of books, but I mean, I have so many, even without rereading the things that I have. It would probably take me, if I read like a book a week, it would still probably take me like 3 years to get through all of my books. So I need to start trimming that down for things that I know I don't want to read again. So all of that to say, I read 5 books. 1 was a borrowed book. 2 I'm keeping, 2 I am going to donate, and I feel really good about that. The last goal that I'm going to talk about that I actually feel like I accomplished something with was my like crafting project goal. I finally finished sewing in all the ends on my husband's cousin's baby blanket. I finished a baby blanket for a family friend. I'm working on another baby blanket for a family friend. I finished a blanket that I gave to my sister as her housewarming gift. And that's all the like yarn crafts that I finished. But also the end of July, beginning of August, when my sister still lived in Chicago before she moved back here, my youngest sister and I went to go visit her for a weekend. And while we were there, we went to this like mineral gem store shop. I picked out a bunch of purple and blue and green gemstones because those are my favorite colors, and an Australian opal because that is my birthstone. But I wanted to make like a little, not necessarily a shadow box, but I had this wood plaque that I had bought at the store for a different project that I never ended up doing. So I glued them all on here in like a pretty little pattern. I don't know. But I still have to figure out where I'm gonna hang it up. But I like it. I think it's pretty. Here's the Australian opal, because opals, this is a tangent. I don't care what anyone on the internet says. My birthstone is not a pink tourmaline or whatever pink gem people say. My birthstone's an opal. That's all I'm gonna say. Opals are way prettier than those pink gemstones that everyone wants you to think is October's gemstone, but it's not. It's an opal. And rant aside, but yeah, obviously I picked up some peacock ore and like just a lot of different blue and purple and green and like this one random copper nugget that I like. I think it's pretty. I like copper. So I managed to get a decent amount of like crafting done this 3 months, which I'm very happy about. So those are all, I know that's not every single goal that I had for the year. Those are just the ones that I'm going to talk about today because the rest of them are just, it's just not a lot of progress being made. Let's just put it that way. But so now for the embarrassing part. So as I said before, in my last update, I already said I was discontinuing my low buy because it was just not working for me, I guess. Here's the thing, and I hope like people will understand, or I mean, I think we're all in kind of a similar situation. I was doing really well the first 5 or so months because one, there wasn't a lot that was being released that I cared about. But then once the pandemic hit and I had to be home 24/7 with my kids, not able to go out. And I've mentioned it before, my son has cerebral palsy, so life with him is more difficult than it is with a typical 4-year-old. So between just the whole pandemic and then dealing with his health issues, I got depressed, and the way that I deal with my depression is by shopping. And I did some shopping. And I'm gonna show you most of what I've got, just again, not to be like, ooh, look at all this brand new makeup I have. It's more so you can see like the physical manifestation of my mental state the past couple of months. The other thing is, especially as the year has gone on and on, I have really become so much more intrigued by indie brands because I feel like they are able to offer more unique products than the mainstream brands who, I don't know how to quite to say this. Like the mainstream brands obviously have a much larger reach, and I feel like if you're really looking for indie makeup, you're not looking for like a Tarte palette. I mean, Tarte palettes are all pretty neutral and safe, and that's not really, in my opinion, or from what I've seen, that's not really what indie makeup is about. So because they're not trying to cater to that huge, like general mainstream customer base, I feel like they're really able to have more fun with formulas and colors and textures. And I've been really getting into that. So for the most part, almost everything that I bought is from an indie brand. And this isn't even everything. One, because I bought a lot of singles and they're like scattered around in palettes, but if I have pictures of them or swatches or whatever, I'll insert them as I like kind of talk about them if I can remember. But two, some orders that I made were pre-orders. Like I ordered from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics, which is an Australian brand, and the pre-orders, I ordered them back in September, the beginning of September, I believe, and they're not even shipping until the middle of this month. I made a Cleona order, although that's supposed to be my Christmas present from my husband. So technically, I didn't buy it, even though I did, because he hasn't paid me back yet. But that's not coming probably till November at least, and I'm not getting it till Christmas anyway. I pre-ordered the Shroud and Butte Bean palette. I ordered the Rebel Rouge Howlin' For You palette, which hasn't gotten here yet. What else? I'm waiting on an order from Lovelux Beauty that Lisa sent to me while she's waiting on her order that I sent to her. The US Post Office is having a time. And what? Oh, I'm waiting on a Pretties for Your Face order. The point being, I spent a lot of money on a lot of eyeshadow. And I don't even want to like add it all up because I really don't want to know how much I spent on eyeshadow. But the good news is I'm still waiting on a bunch of orders, but I'm pretty much, I think, done. I've bought so much stuff that it's become a little overwhelming because I can't use it all because I bought so much and I already have so much. So I'm stopping the buying train for right now. I'm hoping that will continue through the rest of the year, but I don't know what Black Friday is gonna look like. So I'm not making any promises, but anyway, so I will kind of like just go through some of the things that I got really quick. I finally got in my Pure Raw Beauty Christie palette. I didn't miss it. Since everybody knows what a cluster that the first launch was, I was actually in line. I set an alarm on my phone, and if I had heard my alarm, I would have gotten the palette in the first launch date, but I did not hear my alarm because I set it for like 2 in the morning and I was sleeping like a normal person should be sleeping. So I missed it. I got it on the restock and then I just got it like the end of last month. So I finally got that. I made for Labor Day, and if I have videos with these, I'll link them. These first 3 things I'm going to talk about, I did do a palette bingo with, so I'll link that up. But I made an order for Juvia's Place it was just for the sweet pinks and it was supposed to come with a lip gloss. And I don't know what happened, but instead of getting this with the lip gloss, I got the sweet pinks plus the taupes plus the mauves, which, I mean, if I'm going to pay for a palette and a lip gloss and I get 3 small palettes, I'm okay with that. So I've got these. I used 1 shade in this in my multi-palette bingo, and I have not touched these yet. Actually I have used this I've used this a couple times. I haven't used every shade, but I've used, let's see, I've used this row, I've used that pink, and then I know I've used You're Not My Real Dad, and I think I used Told You before. So I've used this like 2 or 3 times, I think. And then the last palette I got that I used in that multi-palette bingo was the Nomad Cartagena Mágica palette. And I've only used 2 shades in this because I used this in my palette bingo, and then I actually used the shade in an eye look the other day. And along with my Nomad order, I got this highlighter palette because this is how my brain works. This is how companies get you to spend your money. So, and even when you're aware of it, I saw this blush, Positano Sunrise. It was for sale in an individual for, I believe, $17. I don't know, something like that. This whole palette was on sale for $19. So instead of getting just the 1 blush that I wanted, I got this whole palette because it was only $2 more. And I also got 4 singles, but I didn't feel like bringing them out. Anyway, then I got I got a Looksy Beauty, a large Looksy Beauty order, which I did make a video on, so I'll link that up in the cards because I swatched all of the shades for that one. And then Lisa posted her Sydney Grace. Oh, let's back up. Wow, this video is going to be super long. I did not think it was going to be this long. Okay, backing up. Sydney Grace was doing a sale on singles to help out. I think 2 of their employees live in California and their family home was destroyed by the wildfires. So she was doing a sale and all of the profits for that sale were going to go to this family. So I'm like, okay, that's any reason to buy makeup, right? That's a good cause. And I really like Sydney Grace's formula, so I'm going to pick up some more singles. So I picked up some more singles. And then I think the day after that, or maybe even the same day, I don't quite remember, Lisa posted her video about her Sydney Grace Autumn's Rain palette. And I wasn't interested in the palette, seeing it, like I was interested, I wasn't super excited about it, seeing it on the website, but when I watched Lisa's video and I saw her swatches, and then I was like, okay, I need that. So the actual palette wasn't in stock, but the bundle was in stock. So I got the bundle. This is just a random blush that was in the mystery bag for Christmas in July, but along with my order of a bunch of singles, I got the Autumn's Rain bundle. And I got some mystery bags from Copacetic Cosmetics. I got the Copacetic Cosmetics subscription, like just the $10 subscription box. And then I made, not a giant order, but I made an order from Divina because they had their new Aurora Flare shifters, which are these 5. And then I just threw in a couple extra singles because, and as you can see, I spent a lot of money. So I know what my trigger is. I need to figure out how to just like window shop and not actually shop, because while don't get me wrong, I am like thrilled with everything that I got, especially these Divina ones. But at the same time, like I said, I'm afraid to sit down and figure out how much money I actually spent on makeup in this last 2 months. So that's just, like I said, I want to be transparent. I don't want to like hide anything, even though this is, and I do want to make the statement, I'm not like putting myself in financial trouble by buying all this makeup. It's just I'm spending more than I should be, but it's not causing me financial harm, I guess I should say. Not that that really makes it much better, but just it makes it a little better, right? If I'm not really hurting myself, I'm just using shopping as a way to cope with my things that are going on in my life that are a little difficult. But I'm hoping my son is going to go back to school starting this week. He's only going to go 2 days a week, but that will give me a little breathing room because, oh my God, I love that kid so much. Like, I can't even put into words how much I love that little boy. But I am so ready for him to be out of the house for a little while, a couple days a week. So I don't really know a good way to end this video. I'm sorry that it was so long. I really was not anticipating rambling for this long, but I guess I just had some things I needed to get off my chest about this. And like I said, I wanted to be transparent and honest because not only is it good for me to like try to confront and look at these things instead of hiding my head in the sand and pretending it's not happening. But even though I've still got a very small channel, I mean, I don't want to lie to you guys about things that I've talked about on my channel before. And I would consider many of you regular watchers to be my friends, and I don't make it a habit to lie or hide things from my friends. So I'm trying to be open about things, and hopefully I succeeded. Like I said, I'm sorry this video was probably really long. I'll do my best to make it not that long, but anyway, I hope that you are doing well with any goals that you've set for yourself, any no buys, low buys, just doing whatever. As long as you are happy with how things are going and how you're learning from your journey, that is all that matters. So I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and sane, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.